I'd like to share with you today an idea for building an enclosure trap for a lost dog that might be hesitant to go into a standard trap. This is the description of the Uptown Kennels Assembly instructions for either a 4-foot by 4-foot enclosure or a 4-foot by 8-foot enclosure. Some of the equipment parts that we used were machine screws, 8/32 by, we used 1.25 inch, but we recommend using 1.5 inch length machine screws with nuts and lock washers. And we used number 10 lock washers. There is a spring that we used to provide the closure of the gate after the animal trips the wire, or in this case the monofilament fishing line. And then we use several of these eyes that are 1.5 inch long, and they are used to guide the trip line from a point of where it's attached to the walls, through the eyes and up to a hook and eye latch. So this is a latch that we're using to prevent the dog from leaving the enclosure after the dog trips the wire and the gate closes. Okay, it's important to have a magnetic latch mechanism on the inside, because experience has shown that if it's too flimsy a latch, the animal, with sensing a door closing, will try and maybe succeed in breaking the door down. But this latch is very secure and highly recommended. So now the next most important piece of the device is the tripwire and its latch. And as you can see, this latch is a very simple eye and hook available at any hardware store, but in this case it's mounted upside down from the normal household use, so that underneath it is the 10-pound monofilament fishing line that we've attached underneath the hook. And on this hook, what I've done is I've put a very small notch of maybe a 32nd of an inch. I've used a metal file to put a little notch in there, about 1/8 of an inch or so down from what in this case the top of the hook, so that it has a little bit of a surface on which to grab the eye that's mounted with baling wire to the door. So from the bottom of the hook comes the monofilament line. It's quite tense or taut. Comes along, it gets change of direction through an eye, comes over to another eye over here, and then it goes diagonally to the frame. And the idea of this particular orientation is that the bait will be placed here, and when an animal comes in, a larger dog, their probably chest area or the tops of their front paws will hit the trip line, and after the tension gets removed from it, it pulls down the hook and releases the door. The door gets secured with the magnetic lock. And we've also installed, although not in use at this time, for a smaller animal would be a lower eye mounted there, lower eye mounted here, and the fishing line would be retied over at this level for a small animal to ensure that they wouldn't go under this particular tripwire. They would not be able to go under it. They would hit it if it's mounted a little lower. So
go get it, Maddie.